Joe Youngman. Ever since I was about 18 and came to the Upper Peninsula, I've been impressed with finding big white pines. I love it, it's just sort of thrilling somehow.
There, can you see what he looks like right there? That's a nice pine. Just look at that tree.
I guess I'd say it's big tree hunting. Eyes are peeled left and right for big columns of wood. And when I see them, I go measure them and take the lat and long. And oh, we're getting warmer. Which way is west? Right over you. Oh, that's the one. That's the one. So much of the Upper Peninsula got whacked building Chicago and stuff. And for some reason, this patch here didn't get cut. People were smart enough to notice it and start rabble-rousing and making noise, and then saved it.
This is the shot that ran in all the newspapers that got it started. The last of the big pine in northern Michigan are falling. It got everybody's attention. That's when we formed the Citizens Committee, and let's go for
it. The Estevan pines are one of the last remaining tracts of old growth white pines in the Midwest. We've learned to understand that trees are more than just tall plants. These large trees are part of a huge system that we're only beginning to understand. Much of the Upper Peninsula was logged to the point of almost clear cutting.
The only reason that the Estevan pines survived is because they grew out here on this peninsula, stuck out in the middle of Lake Superior on terribly rugged land. Until 1970, a contract was given to cut the pines. And that's when the whistle was blown, the partnership was made between the M&A and our local Citizens Committee, and we went to work. Bertha Dobbendieck, the executive director of the M&A, called me up and said, it looks like they might start cutting, and we may have to stand in front of a bulldozer. And there was a bulldozer sitting right here. And that was the first tree they were going to knock down. Logs in the sawmill yard versus a sanctuary of these old trees. Since they're the last, that was a no-brainer. So we worked together in a big conservation move. It was a long struggle. It took us 3 years to preserve the pines.
We're looking at 50 years of the Estevan pines, which is tremendous, and for a lot of people, that's a long time. And when we think about a billion-year history, it's a really interesting concept to explore. How small a time scale we have on this planet, and then what do we do with our time? The more we understand about how a place formed, how old that place is, our values might shift. We start thinking about it in a different way. Now we're thinking about this idea of conservation and protecting these majestic places that people can come to visit and deepen their sense of place and their identity with a place. Things like this help us think about what's important. What do we value? What do we want to do in our very short period of time?
Probably 15 years ago, I was hiking this trail. A little family come bouncing down the road. 7, 8-year-old kids, and behind them was mom and dad. And then it dawned on me, these people weren't even alive when we saved this. That's why we did it. Back then we said, yeah, we're gonna save it for future generations. That's kind of hollow sounding back then, but now it had real meaning. There's the future generations. There's 2 of them right there. Now everybody recognizes it's a treasure. There isn't anybody wondering why we did it anymore.